I warmly welcome you to the Smart Pavements Australia Research Collaboration Hub launch. I invite you to join me in the acknowledgement of the Boon Wurrung and Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation on whose land I stand today. I also acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which you stand as you join us from around Australia and the world. I want to take a moment to reflect on the importance of Indigenous knowledges and culture in our work. As you may hear from my accent, I am Canadian, and in Canada, there is a constellation of stars that you can see known as the Pleiades or the Seven Sisters. This constellation can also be seen in Australia. And interestingly, the dreaming associated with this constellation was associated with sisters for some of the nations in Australia, although others call it the Great Shark. I raise this because we now know that Australia's highway network follows ancient Aboriginal star maps. To our great shame, an unforgivable amount of Indigenous engineering has been overlooked, denied, or forgotten. And so the discovery that our modern highways reflect the ancient Indigenous knowledge is something to be celebrated. A star map is not like a Melways or a street map, but rather more interactive, like your GPS, a memory aid of the waypoints from A to B. Roads are Australia's largest publicly owned infrastructure. As we come together to plan the future of our road network, as we work together to make pavements smarter, longer lasting, safer, more economical, and more sustainable, it is appropriate to remember that Indigenous knowledges and culture are part of the future of engineering as well as its past. And as those ancient star maps have become our present day highway network, we commit to a more diverse and inclusive future. The Smart Pavements Australia Research Collaboration Hub, or SPARC Hub, is a commitment to collaboration from leaders in the Australian pavement industry. Together, we will develop the materials, designs, and adaptive technologies of the future, educate the highly skilled workforce who will manage the network, and realize commercial benefits that bring prosperity to our communities. Monash University is grateful to the Australian Research Council funding to establish and operate this hub for next generation pavements. I am joined on screen today by Senator David Van, Senator for Victoria, Professor Sue Thomas, Chief Executive Officer for the Australian Research Council, Mr. Michael CALTABIANO, Chief Executive Officer of the Australian Road Research Board, and Professor Mike Ryan, Pro Vice-Chancellor Research here at Monash University. In this webinar setup, we cannot see our audience participants, but we can use the chat function to interact. This launch will be followed by workshop activities, a keynote and plenary speeches, and panel discussions over the course of today and tomorrow. Thank you to everyone who has supported this important initiative and volunteered time to share expertise on this important topic. I would now like to invite our webmaster to play the SPARC Hub video for us.
Underpinning the social, economic and cultural fabric of a nation, roads are the largest publicly owned infrastructure in Australia, with an annual spend of over $30 billion of road infrastructure, including the maintenance of 900,000 kilometres of road network. We are now facing significant challenges associated with road deterioration from increased traffic loads and the technologies of the Industry 4 revolution that integrate our physical and digital worlds provide opportunities for innovations in road pavements research. Supported by the Australian Research Council, SPARC provides a university-led collaborative research platform to address these issues.
SPARC stands for Smart Pavements Australia Research Collaboration, and it is the first university-led research platform for the transport payment sector. Our vision is to transform the payment industry to make payments smarter, longer lasting, safer, and more economical with a lower environmental footprint. We aspire to realize this vision through targeted skill enhancement and innovation with an R&D strategy that is balanced in both research and development. We are passionate to lead this collaboration to future-proof the Australian transport payment industry and provide lasting benefits to the community.
Focusing on 5 key themes that address the most important issues in transport pavements. The SPARC program is led by theme leaders, supported by 26 academics from 8 Australian universities. The collaboration is strengthened further by 20 industry representatives and 7 overseas partner investigators. To date, 37 PhD scholars and 6 research fellows are working on 42 projects. A number of ARRB researchers have been seconded to undertake research, with PhD scholars providing an unprecedented culture of innovation coupled with hands-on research and development. Theme 1 addresses the innovative use of materials to construct pavements that better withstand repetitive traffic loads and climatic variations. Novel testing methods that replicate field conditions are being developed. These methods are more cost-effective and will facilitate effective selection of materials. For example, how to modify granular geomaterials for the construction of flood-resilient pavements. Predictive models are being developed to advance the design methods for these long-lasting, climate-resilient pavements. Theme 2 focuses on smart pavement construction techniques and condition assessment of existing pavements. How do we construct a pavement that achieves the targeted performance over its life? This is addressed under intelligent pavement construction, using rollers equipped with multiple sensors to autonomously compact the soil to a desired performance requirement. Novel sensing technologies that remotely measure soil moisture and density are developed. For existing pavements, accurate assessment of current condition is important for optimal maintenance and rehabilitation. Sensing technologies, including ground penetration radar and graphene-coated geotextiles, are being investigated. Theme 3 centres around smart rehabilitation and eco-friendly pavements. Cement is commonly used in pavement construction and rehabilitation. The production of 1 tonne of cement emits close to 1 tonne of carbon dioxide. In contrast to cement, geopolymer has a significantly lower environmental footprint. SPARC is researching the use of geopolymer from wastes, such as bricks and glass, to produce cements to construct and rehabilitate pavements. The potential for using 3D printed technology for automating road construction is also being explored. Theme 4 researches how to safely manage smart, next-generation pavements, interacting with connected and autonomous vehicles, CAVs. CAVs are the next technological advancement that will completely transform our mobility pattern and transportation network. Together with Theme 2, multiple sensing technologies, both in pavement and the above ground, such as mobile GPS, drone and camera-based computer vision, will be combined to improve reliability and safety. In partnership with industry and government, SPARC will evaluate smart traffic management options offered by these traffic-aware infrastructures. Theme 5 integrates the outcomes of Themes 1 to 4, developing a smart, optimised road asset management platform, incorporating big data, sensing information, traffic volumes, and community interaction. The platform will be founded on a central asset management system, CAMS. It is envisaged that the system will be hosted in the cloud to receive multiple data streams for real-time decision-making. Located within the Department of Civil Engineering, Monash University, Clayton Campus, Victoria, Australia, SPARC provides an innovative and vibrant environment for world-class research and development.
Thank you for that wonderful video. We can really see how through this hub, the ARC's purpose to grow knowledge and innovation for the benefit of all the Australian community and to deliver cultural, economic, social, and environmental benefits for all Australians is worked out. SPARC is clearly advancing and transforming the Australian pavement manufacturing industry, addressing short, medium, and these long-term challenges through this high-quality collaborative research in innovative materials, smart technologies, advanced design, construction, and maintenance methods, making Australia's transport pavements more smart and sustainable. And for the first time in history, we see a hub that's creating a national innovation platform linking the full value chain of universities, road research organizations, contractors, and road authorities to future-proof the road and pavements industry, making transport pavements from road to air to mini haul cost-effective, longer-lasting, safer, with lower environmental footprint and the ability to adapt to our future transport demands, saving the economy billions of dollars in the short, medium, and longer term. So with that, I would like, and it is my pleasure to introduce Professor Mike Ryan, Pro Vice-Chancellor Research here at Monash University. Professor Ryan is a highly esteemed academic whose own research seeks to understand mitochondrial disease. He is a champion of research infrastructure and the important facilities that we require to do the impactful translational research that this hub is a beneficiary of. Thank you, Professor Ryan.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And before I begin, I would also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land and pay my respects to their elders past and present. I also like to welcome our esteemed guests joining us today. First of all, Senator David Van, Senator for Victoria, representing the federal government. Thank you, Senator, for joining us today. Your continued support and engagement with Monash University and our research community is greatly appreciated by all. I'd also like to acknowledge Professor Sue Thomas, the CEO of the Australian Research Council. And again, thank you, Sue, for joining us and for ARC's continued support of world-leading research like that being conducted by this research hub. Also, welcome to Michael CALTABIANO, the CEO of the Australian Road Research Board. As the National Transport Research Organisation, the Australian Road Research Board plays a critical role in how we link the innovation from this SPARC Hub across the value chain to governments and industry. So thank you for joining us, Michael. We'd also like to welcome the representatives from our 8 local partner universities and 7 overseas universities and research centres, and welcome to our colleagues and partners from over 20 industries without whom this centre wouldn't exist. We're really glad to see that you can all be with us today at this event. And it's an honour to be able to welcome you here to Monash University, albeit online. And given how appalling the weather is today, I think it's probably a good thing for the launch of this ARC Smart Pavements Australia Research Collaboration, or SPARC Hub. This is Australia's first university-led platform dedicated to road and pavement technology. And I'd like to first start by congratulating everyone on their really hard work and the resilience in getting here today. As in many other professions, the past couple of years has been an incredibly difficult time to be a researcher. And it's been an achievement just to keep existing research going during the pandemic. So it's a really incredible achievement to launch a completely new ARC research hub at such a time. Thank you to everyone involved for maintaining their commitment to the vision of the SPARC Hub and the long-term impact its work is sure to have. In particular, congratulations to Professor Kotakara, the director of the SPARC Hub, and his team of investigators. And we saw in that really fantastic video that this hub is bringing together some of the best and brightest minds in a variety of fields, including materials and transport engineering, remote sensing, geophysics, data science and machine learning, asset management, and urban planning. And through these collaborative efforts, this ARC Industry Transformation Research Hub will transform the Australian pavement manufacturing industry to make pavements longer lasting, safer, more economical, and with a lower environmental footprint. We know that the SPARC will be at the forefront of delivering high quality, innovative and collaborative research ultimately making Australia's transport pavements more smart and more sustainable. The research outcomes are likely to have wide-ranging impact, not just in Australia, but abroad. And we know that our road networks across this nation are amazing. We also know that they're under immense pressure, including in the heavily trafficked urban environments to the vast open spaces in the regional areas where climate and heavy haulage can be extreme. And we know that maintenance is challenging. And Australia spends up to $7 billion a year maintaining our road network. And this is the highest per capita maintenance expenditure in the world. So the economic benefits of this research into improving pavements are expected to be significant. Now, SPARC is also deeply aligned with Monash University's new Impact 2030 strategic plan, which involves our commitment to working across disciplines to partner with industry and others so that our well-recognized excellence in research and our excellent researchers can address the grand challenges of our age. For our research to continue to have great impact, we need to foster more ambitious interdisciplinary research that from the outset is set up to scale. We need to work with our partners in industry, in government, in philanthropy, and with the community to form genuine partnerships, to solve complex problems, and to innovate for the long-term impact. And the transport industry is one of Australia's largest industries. The infrastructure allows us to maintain our standard of living through consistent supply chains and the movement of peoples. We also know that long-term strategic thinking is essential to how we design and how we manage this critical infrastructure. And a collaboration like what we see with the SPARC Hub is the best way to design that long-term vision and to bring it to reality. It's also the best way to make sure we are innovating, we're collaborating, we're bringing our research insights to our industry and government partners. And the way we live our lives is changing. The pandemic has certainly seen to that, and we know that further challenges are ahead. So our infrastructure needs to change to support that. And this ARC Industry Transformation Research Hub encompasses all sectors of the Australian pavement industry. It involves the materials we use, how we design and innovate with new technologies, how we create the human capital for the skills and expertise we need for the future, and how we commercialize this innovation by bringing industry to life. The SPARC Hub will see long-term economic benefit to Australia from the competitive advantage that comes from this incredibly important work. I'm really excited to see what can be achieved here. I congratulate once again everyone involved in seeing this hub coming to fruition. And I also wish you well for the workshop and the showcase coming up. And once again, thank you again for having me here today.
Okay. So next, sorry, I had a little trouble with unmuting myself there. So I believe that next we have, so first of all, thank you very much, Professor Ryan. And next, it is my great pleasure to introduce and welcome Professor Sue Thomas, Chief Executive Officer for the Australian Research Council. Please, thank you, Professor Thomas, and over to you.
Thank you very much, Professor Croft, and good morning, everyone. I too would like to respectfully acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands that we're meeting on throughout Australia, pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. I'd also like to acknowledge the distinguished guests here today, particularly Senator Van. The ARC Research Hub for Smart Next Generation Transport Pavements, or SPARC, much easier to say, is supported through the Australian Research Council's Industrial Transformation Research Hub scheme. I'm very pleased to be here at the launch and sorry that I can't be in Melbourne to undertake this role personally. By complete coincidence, I'm the daughter of a now very old roads and pavement engineer, so have some personal feel for the importance of the work that you're proposing to do. So this hub is part of the nearly $800 million administered annually by the ARC through its National Competitive Grants Program. And a significant proportion of that funding flows flows through the ARC's linkage program, which is designed to support collaborative research between the higher education sector and industry. So the Industrial Transformation Research Hub scheme is part of linkage, and it's particularly designed to focus on strategic outcomes that aren't possible without researcher and industry collaboration. So as you've heard already, hubs like this build research capacity in their partner organisations as well as in academia, increasing innovation and competitiveness. And certainly the ARC is very pleased to see so many ARC research hubs become established all around the country. The wide variety of the research topics in these hubs is matched by the diversity of research partners from industry, government and other organisations who've put their support behind such important research. And the SPARC Hub particularly has brought together a really impressive array of partners from all around the world and has a very significant and experienced team. It's a fantastic research environment for graduate students and researchers early in their careers so that they can establish their research careers in an intellectually stimulating and vibrant environment that's also industry focused. And there's no doubt that the research of the SPARC Hub is vitally important to Australia's future and aligns well with the goals of the ARC's Industrial Transformation Research Program. So in conclusion, I wish you every success with today's launch. I certainly look forward to hearing about the great breakthroughs and outcomes that you will have in your research that you will bring to Australian roads and pavements over the next 5 years. I'd now like to introduce Senator David Van, who is officially representing the Minister for Education and Youth at today's launch. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Professor Thomas, and good morning, everyone. As I'm in our nation's capital, that Parliament House, I'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal and Ngambri people, the traditional owners of the country in which Parliament House rests. I'd also like to acknowledge all the distinguished guests here today, too many to mention, but thank you for all the effort that's gone into today and into this. I'm pleased to be speaking again at another launch of a great research collaboration at Monash University, an institution that I not only support, but I'm actually currently a postgrad student at. And this launch is part of, and this collaboration is part of the Australian government's significant investment of nearly $12 billion in science and research in 2020-21. The ARC Research Hub for Smart Next Generation Transport Pavements has been funded with $5 million over 5 years by the Australian government through the Australian Research Council. This research hub will make airport, road, dockyard pavements smart, low cost, long lasting, safe, green and adaptable to future transport demands. The need for a well-supported research hub in Australia's pavement industry is abundantly clear to me. Australia has over 900,000 kilometres of road network, which makes it the largest publicly owned infrastructure and with a replacement value estimated between $200 and $300 billion. So you can see how important it is to this nation. This road network comes with a $20 billion road construction maintenance cost every year, which is the highest per capita road maintenance expenditure in the world. Researchers at this hub working with industry partners to deliver up savings of up to $200 million per annum to reduce these costs, which is quite significant and money that can be used elsewhere. These savings will also deliver long-lasting, safer roads with a lower environmental footprint, designed and built to adapt to Australia's future transport demands. A strengthened road transport network will lay the foundation for a stronger economy in Australia, as well as supporting the social and cultural life of our broad country. Every person in Australia relies on these roads, as well as key Australian industries such as agriculture, mining, tourism, and of course, our transportation sector. Based at Monash University, this research hub is a very significant collaborative research project that draws from many organisations, including 7 other Australian universities. The impressive list of partner organisations also includes many road research organisations, contractors, and road authorities. And it involves research collaborations with a number of prestigious international research organisations and universities as well. The researchers at this hub will establish a vital centre of expertise in novel materials and modelling, smart construction, rehabilitation, and methods to future-proof one of Australia's most critical assets. Working closely with their strategic partners, I understand that the impact of the hub will be realised in over $35 million of industry benefits in new products and technologies. An important facet of the Australian Research Council's research hubs is their role in training the next generation of research leaders with an understanding of the challenges faced by industry. I note that this hub will be delivering the training of at least 50 personnel in advanced pavement engineering and technology to be competitive locally and internationally. This is a fantastic opportunity for early career researchers, in particular, to participate in graduate level training in a research environment that combines many fields, including pavement and transport engineering, geotechnical and materials engineering, structural monitoring, remote sensing, geophysics, data science and machine learning, asset management, and urban planning. I congratulate Professor Jayantha Kodakara, the Director of the ARC Research Hub for Smart Next Generation Transport Pavements, for assembling the diverse research and industry expertise needed for a project of such importance. I wish you and your research team every success. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Senator Van. We appreciate your time and perspective today. Next up, I welcome Mr. Michael CALTABIANO, Chief Executive Officer of the Australian Road Research Board. Michael has great enthusiasm for the roads and transport sector, and with almost 35 years of experience behind him, I look forward to his presentation today. Mr. CALTABIANO will present his presentation titled SPARC University Industry Collaboration Platform, the National Transport Research Centre's Perspective. Over to you, Michael.
Thank you very much, Professor CROFT, and can I acknowledge Senator Van, the CEO of the ARC, Professor Thomas, PVCR, Professor Ryan, and also just reflect on when this kernel of an idea, when Professor Kodakara and Emeritus Professor Bill Young came out to ARRB's offices 4 years ago now and sat with the ARRB team and said, we really need to develop a university centre in Australia that's going to address pavement engineering for the first time. As Professor CROFT indicated earlier, this is the first pavement engineering hub anywhere in Australia. We were very enthusiastic. ARRB is the National Transport Research Organisation. We are one of 7 global research laboratories. We're partnered with the UK, Germany, France, Sweden, China, the United States, and Australia represent the G7 of global research laboratories, supporting state road agencies and the Commonwealth governments in all of those countries to deliver smarter, better, more efficient road infrastructure. And we've been doing it for 61 years. We are incredibly supportive of the ARC's efforts to drive pavement engineering through Monash University as a wonderful insight for the next 40 PhDs that are going to graduate during the course of this ARC-funded hub. And we will employ those people. We will transfer that knowledge into industry via the National Transport Research Organisation, picking up those skill sets, ensuring that the next generation of road pavements will be the smartest, longest lasting, greenest pavement structures ever seen in Australia. We're very proud to be part of this process. We are an industry partner, we're a research partner, we're a collaborator and deliverer of that translation of knowledge into practice, which is really what the ARC industry hubs are all about. Sponsoring through a university the next generation of bright ideas to deliver the translation into practice. There is no better example anywhere in the country than this particular hub, and we are incredibly supportive of it and incredibly supportive of Professor Kodakara and his team to deliver across the 5 themes a step change in understanding in universities across Australia and a step change for those 40 bright new PhDs that will emerge over the time. We are absolutely focused on solving tomorrow's problems today. And as Senator Van said, we must look to a full circular economy outcome for our pavement structures for the future. The insights that are provided through the SPARC Hub and the work that's being done across those 5 themes will translate into greener pavement structures for the future, lower carbon emissions as a consequence of not only the construction processes, but the capital involved in delivering those pavement outcomes. Most importantly also is driving scarce public resources. Senator Van said we spend $20 to $30 billion a year on pavement structures and roads in Australia. It's very true. We need to drive every single dollar further. And some of the concepts and innovations that will come out of the SPARC Hub will ensure that we drive that scarce public funding even further, delivering more and better value for money. So we are, as Professor Croft said, very enthusiastic about supporting the teams at Monash, the teams within the National Transport Research Organisation that support them, through our laboratories at Port Melbourne, through the intellect that our staff provide in supporting those students and programs. And we look forward to some really great outcomes as we progress in partnering on the SPARC program with the 23 other industry partners across Australia.
Thank you, Mr. CALTABIANO. And again, I look forward to your presentation later today. It is now my great pleasure to invite Senator Van, Professor Ryan, Professor Thomas, and Mr. CALTABIANO to officially launch the Australian Research Council SPARC Industrial Transformation Research Hub.
Thank you, Professor Croft. And I'm delighted to officially launch the ARRB Research Hub for Smart Next Generation Transport Pavements, the SPARC Hub. Today marks the official beginning of a great research partnership that will lay the foundations of roads of our future. I look forward to hearing about the research breakthroughs that you will deliver over the next 5 years. And if I'm lucky enough to win a second term, perhaps to cutting the ribbon on some of that infrastructure that gets built using that research. Thank you for having me here today.
Thank you so much, Professor Van. Sorry, Senator Van.
Maybe one day.
We'll get you there yet. So that concludes our formalities for the opening of the hub. And next up, we have some slideshows and videos that are going forward. So I will turn it back over to the SPARC Hub team to take it from here. And again, thank you to everyone who joined us today, to Professor Thomas, Professor Ryan, Senator Van, and Mr. CALTABIANO. Thank you so much for being part of this fantastic launch here at Monash University.